Welcome, all you Plus 2 comedy modifiers, to another episode of the Plus 2 Comedy Podcast. I'm your host, as always, TV's Noah Houlihan, and before we get to our fantastic episode with TJ Hurley of Justify Your Love, I have to tell you about our upcoming shows. We will be at the Geeky Kink event this very weekend. That's November 10th through the 12th. We will be doing stand-up comedy, an episode of this very podcast, Beyond the Tentacle and Game the Gamer After Dark. It's going to be dirty. So if you're over 19 years old and want to go to Piscataway, New Jersey, come see us at the Geeky Kink event. For more information, you can go to thegeekykinkevent.com. And now, without any further ado, take it away.
Who's ready for a podcast? Nice. Who's here to do other things, currently being annoyed by a podcast? They've moved further away.
Yeah,
I've
they
noticed.
left.
Yeah.
People love being surprised by comedy.
Oh, absolutely.
Yeah,
That's their favorite
I mean,
thing.
they're here every week.
Like when you go to a bar and it turns out there's an open mic. Oh, it's their
I'd
favorite
be
thing.
so
in the world.
mad. Like, not understanding to those people what. So, like, having been in their exact shoes, I'd be so mad at them.
Bummer.
Yeah, and we as comedians are always those people who are like, I'm going to turn the bar. I'm going to get them to pay attention. No, they don't want to.
No.
Let them be.
I did a comedy contest at a sports bar in the suburbs a bunch of years ago. Do you remember that thing that was like the suburban whatever? What do you call it?
Yes,
Whatever
it
the hell
was.
that thing was. And it was in a bar, and there was a Flyers game on a flat screen TV behind the microphone.
Oh, perfect. Perfect. Yeah, when I did that, I lost and Mike Rainey won, and I was charged with informing him that he won because he left immediately after his set. I was like, hey, man, you got to come back. Congrats. I forgot to do the opening. This is the Plus 2 Comedy
Oh,
Podcast.
hey.
I'm your host, as always, TV's Noah Houlihan. We're recording live at Gamers Vault. That's 175 Route 70 in Medford, New Jersey. And I am joined, as always, by the Christmas spirit to my November, Mr. Will Liam. How you doing, Will?
In that there should be no Christmas spirit in November, then yes. It is, for me, 2nd October.
2nd October?
I'm still going horror movie strong,
All right, cool.
and I will not take down my Halloween decorations.
Perfect. Our guest this week is a stand-up comedian and the host of Justify Your Love.
Yes.
Please give it up for TJ Hurley.
Hello. All right.
TJ, thank you so much for coming on the show.
Yeah, thank you for
I
having me.
apologize for my lateness.
That's okay.
Cool. We start with an icebreaker question. Our icebreaker question comes from Modifier Brian. He wants to know, when is it appropriate to start playing Christmas music?
I'll say never.
Thank
Never.
you.
It,
Correct.
It shouldn't
Correct
happen.
answer.
To start
Yeah.
playing Christmas music.
I mean, I'm all for Christmas cheer, but I've come to the realization that I don't care for Christmas music in general.
Actually, I don't know. There is. My mom is one of those, like, my mom's a Christmas lady.
Yeah.
You know, like she'll walk. She has a sweatshirt that says "Jesus is the reason for the season."
Right.
That she puts on, like, just probably yesterday. She put it on.
But under the Halloween costume.
yeah. She has a whole stack of Christmas CDs, and there is one. It's called a Phil Spector Christmas. It's actually pretty good.
Okay.
It's all just like 60s girl group songs.
Okay.
Or
okay.
girl group singing Christmas songs. That's pretty tolerable. I would listen to that in the summer.
Okay, all right. Because I remember the "We Need a Little Christmas" right this very minute. That song.
Not ringing the bell.
It's not very good.
No.
But there's the lyrics of it are about how they are rushing the season. Like that's actually what that song's about. It's just like, no, we need Christmas now because we do. And then someone like retorts with something along the lines of, but it was just Thanksgiving. Because there was a time where that was considered rushing
Yeah,
the
too
season.
early
Like
for
too
Christmas.
Sure.
Yeah. Meanwhile, I went out to a strip mall on Halloween.
I thought you were going to say strip club.
and Christmas,
All Christmas-themed
yeah,
dancers.
Christmas theme.
Everywhere.
Right away, immediately.
Well, I went into CVS October 20th, and Halloween stuff was 50% off,
Oh, yeah.
which
we're
I was a
done
big
with
fan of. I don't like the concept, but I like that I got a human-sized skeleton for like $25.
it. Yeah. Become a scientist. So TJ is a stand-up comedian, the host of Justify Your Love.
Yes.
Tell us about Justify Your Love.
Justify Your Love is a comedy game show. I call it the game show of guilty pleasures. And the way
Okay.
it works is this. There is 3 rounds. Each round has 1 contestant and 3 judges.
Okay.
And the contestant is charged with defending a terrible song that they really honestly love.
Okay.
Like one of those songs that, like, it's terrible, you wouldn't admit to anybody that you like it, but really when it comes on in your car, you get a little teary-eyed maybe.
Yeah.
Roll the windows up, start belting that thing out, you know?
Gotcha.
And so the idea is that people will reveal their guilty pleasure and they make a passionate defense of it, and people do all types of stuff. Sometimes people will mount actual legal defenses of the song.
All right.
Sometimes people tell jokes about it. Sometimes Alejandro Morales wrote a song about the song and sung that. That was great.
Went full Tenacious D.
He went full Tenacious D. So it's super open-ended for whatever the contestant, whatever their whatever their bag is.
I
They can
thought it
bring
would
that
be like the Newlywed Game, but with Timothy Olyphant. And if you lose, then he antagonizes you until you pull a gun on him, and then he kills you.
That's a good idea for a show. Write that down.
That would probably sell better.
Yeah.
That might show. And so
good.
the contestant has a chance. They have a chance up front to defend the song, and then the judges try to pick it apart. And then there's a cross-examination, and I am the host. And then at the end of each round, the audience decides who made the more compelling argument.
Oh, okay. So it's not, you don't vote, yes, it's good to love this song, or no, it's bad. It's just who of the three
Who convinced you?
Okay.
Did the contestant, did they successfully justify their love of this garbage or not at the end?
Gotcha.
So it's fun. And usually one of the nice things is that usually no matter the song, almost all the time love wins, which is nice. Like the people, if you have this person making themselves vulnerable and admitting to liking something that's very lame, and then you have this table of very catty and mean judges who are just taking advantage of the contestants.
Being the bully.
Yeah, they're being bullies. Generally, the judges get better laughs, but at the end, when it comes time to vote, people want to go with love, which is nice.
Gotcha.
Is it always songs?
It's always on. We did a movie version once. The problem with the movie version, it was super fun, but a lot of it's just logistics. Like the idea is with a song, even if everybody there in the audience hasn't heard the song defending, I play a 30-second clip.
Or 30 seconds.
You know what I
that's
mean?
probably
Enough. You get to the first chorus, and then people have the general idea. But if it's a movie they've never seen, it's a
No,
little
you should
bit.
do this show for 12 hours.
Yeah.
You have a bad movie festival.
I need to point out the subtleties of Super Mario Brothers as to why it's actually a really good movie.
We're all gonna sit through this thing.
Yeah,
But the movie version was really fun. It just took a lot. It just took a lot of work because I had to edit because some of the movies didn't already have trailers because they were weird obscure old movies. So it just took pretty much the movie version was too much work. So I haven't done it again.
Not doing that
It
again.
was too much effort. But it was
Trailers sometimes they're lies.
Yeah,
Yeah.
a lot of trailers are,
They don't
straight up
They'll
lies.
bury the lead,
Yeah.
especially with bad movies. The trailer's not gonna not gonna get across why.
Do you remember the Dane Cook film Bad Luck Chuck? Or
No.
Good Luck Chuck, excuse me. Good
Yes.
Luck Chuck.
No, I've actually been blessed never to have seen a Dan Cook
Oh,
movie.
let me tell you, you
I've
missing
also
out.
never seen any Dan Cook. I never seen a Dan Cook stand up either. I've avoided that.
Daniel Cook?
I
You
call him
haven't-
Dan, yeah.
I wasn't a teenager when he first got
See,
famous.
I
so,
was.
Yeah, I was
And
able to.
I remember turning 20 and just one day looking at my Dane Cook CD and being like, this isn't funny.
That's what happened to
What
me.
happened?
Yeah,
And
the day before I loved it.
That's what happened to me in third wave ska music. When I was a teenager, I was like, oh, wow, American ska music is the coolest thing in the world. And then, the day after my 21st birthday, I was like, this is the most annoying bullshit I've ever heard in my life.
So much horns. So much horns. So what would be your song for Justify Your Love?
It would I'd probably wind up on Billy Joel. I know that
Okay.
I know that Billy Joel's lame. I know.
No, I don't think. Yeah,
You guys are Billy Joel fans?
yeah. I mean,
Yeah, really?
I have no strong opinion about that.
Billy Joel was decided he was going to do a show at Madison Square Garden and was just going to keep doing it until it stopped selling out, and he was there for months.
Look, but we're okay. The issue is
Man,
not
that doesn't
is
mean
he
anything. Larry
popular.
the Cable Guy could set up in a Walmart and do the same thing. That doesn't make him good.
The issue, I know that Billy Joel's popular, but he's also terrible. But
Again, I really don't know enough of his music. There's one about a crocodile.
there is not one about a crocodile.
No,
What are you thinking of?
I have no
Thinking of
idea.
the Crocodile
Thinking of Elton
Rock?
John.
Crocodile
Yeah,
Rock?
John.
Okay, yeah.
Who's awesome?
Then who's
not,
Billy Joel?
Piano Man.
Piano Man.
Oh, okay, I like that song. It's all
Yeah.
right.
It's still rock and roll to me.
Who's the
All right, you
Chevy
guys.
to the levee?
I seem
Who's
to
that?
have
But the
discovered.
levee was dry.
Yeah, who
that
does
was the
that?
American
That's
Pie.
Don
Yeah.
McLean.
That was Madonna.
That's
Okay, cool.
Well, it would be a Billy Joel song, and you guys have no problem with that because apparently everyone here thinks Billy Joel's great. Doesn't think he's lame at all.
Yeah. Well, I was gonna say, well, what song are
News
you
to
gonna
me.
pick?
I have to.
If you like pick like For the Longest Time, I could be like,
No,
okay,
that
there's
song
some issues
sucks.
with
Oh
that.
yeah, I don't like
The
that
one that
song.
really gets me is Downeaster Alexa. The one, it's a
rings a
huge hit.
bell.
It involves, it has whale noises in the background.
Okay.
It's his song about how the economy of Long Island changed, and it was once it once was a community of fishermen, and now there's just no island left for islanders like them anymore. And it gets me every single time I hear it.
So
Yeah,
it-
well,
it's
from
a
your years of being a fisherman.
Yeah.
it's a lame version of Living on a Prayer. Because Tommy used to
Jesus.
work at the docks.
Yeah.
I think that Bon Jovi might be even lamer. Than
We are
Billy.
in New Jersey. You want
dare
to?
you?
We're not.
What is wrong with
We're
you?
fairly far into New Jersey too, which I learned on my
Yeah,
drive here.
We're almost out of it.
Yeah, we're like in the. I think is this the Pine Barrens?
No.
Not quite. That's
No,
where we
it's-
used to record our podcast. We've moved closer to Philly recently.
So I would go with Billy Joel's
Billy Joel?
Downeaster Alexa. That song gets me. It's not a defendable song musically, but I feel like it hits me in an emotional way that's very honest and very embarrassing. So I feel
Okay.
like I'd be able to make a decent emotional plea
Okay.
that that's a good song.
Will, what would be yours?
I'm trying.
You're
'cause
bad at music.
I am. I don't know. The things that I know about like the monster manual for Dungeons and Dragons like reverse that. What a normal person knows about that is what I know about music.
Oh.
Okay.
So nothing.
Yeah, I'm like I've seen. Well, you look at a picture of a dragon, you're like, oh yeah, I know
So
what a
like
dragon
you know of music.
is. Yeah,
Yeah.
And I like a lot of music. When I
That's the
cared,
thing weird people
yeah, because when I was in high school, I listened to nothing but like Wu-Tang Clan and ODB and stuff.
That's
and
rad.
yeah, but that's not bad. I don't need to
Awesome.
defend
No,
Wu-Tang
yeah,
to
that's
anybody.
fantastic,
It's musical art. It's phenomenal.
Very good.
That was the best use of the word rad I've ever heard.
Music's great. There's that one on the first Method Man album. There was that one song where in between every verse he would just make that weird like
Yeah, I
throat
know
clearing
exactly
noise.
yeah.
That's the coolest thing I've ever heard in my life.
I liked "Call Me Maybe." It was a fun song.
Call me maybe.
I got no
Okay.
problem with that.
Yeah, I mean people would definitely hate that song.
Yeah.
That one's
Whatever.
That one's a
I get
stinker.
that's the problem. I don't defend the terrible things. I'm like, I liked it. I don't know what to tell you. Ooh, it's terrible.
That would be very funny and would completely undermine the entire
Yeah, that's-
spirit of my show if you came on and you were like, I don't need to defend myself at all.
Yeah.
And then just stood
Yeah.
there.
I'm
I like that.
welcome to like anything I want. I don't
Yeah.
force it on you. I'm gonna listen to it in my car on the way home.
It's fine.
The
You
show
know what?
only
Shut
works if everybody agrees to be judging.
See, I recently became a big pacifist on that. Like, people like what they like, and I'm not gonna get in the way of it.
Yeah, I mean, honestly, I feel the
So
same
I think
way.
you're a monster, kind of.
I don't want to disabuse anybody of anything. I
No,
feel
you
like
do. You made a whole show about it.
no. What I did, sir, was I created a forum for people to share their passion and love of things that other people think are judgy. So I
Yeah.
have created a forum for people to express publicly
Yeah.
their love of things that they're embarrassed about.
Yeah, the
But
idea is
it's
that
not
they
called
have
talk
this
about
love.
a thing you like. It's called defend your love.
No, sir.
Yeah, I
it
didn't
is-
listen to what it's
It is
called.
not called that. It is called Justify Your Love.
That's also a song. You would make sense if
Yes.
you knew music in
no,
any way.
yeah, no. I know that show on FX.
What about you? Know what song would you defend? I'm going to make some guesses here.
Okay,
Oh,
make
yeah.
some, make
Can I
some
make-
guesses.
can I make-
Because I have a few floating in my mind.
Okay, I'm going to try to guess. Okay, do you, at any point in your life, did you like the band My Chemical Romance?
There is one My Chemical Romance song that I can think of that I did really enjoy, but
Okay.
it might be Death Cab for Cutie.
Yeah, they
Those are
all
very
run.
different.
No, they're not. They sound.
Death Cab for Cutie is not different than
No, they are.
Death Cab for Cutie is like borderline art rock, and the other thing is full on mall rock. Anyway, I'm sorry. What would the song be?
Well, who did that, like, I'll Follow You Into the Dark song?
I don't know.
That's Death Cab for Cutie? Because that's what you spawned me to think of.
But is that a bad song?
It's just like this, like, take Hey There, Delilah, but make it about a teenager saying, I will stay with you till you die.
I think
and that there's no heaven.
I'm gonna go
That's
out
fine.
on
That
a
we're just going to
limb.
die and be dead.
Probably true.
I'm
but
gonna-
the first one's an alarming concept.
Guess that the one My Chemical Romance song you like is probably better than the worst Death Cab for Cutie song.
That's
And
quite
I'm not even a
possible.
Death Cab for Cutie fan.
But I was a big electronica guy.
Oh, geez.
So I would definitely go with Sandstorm by Druid.
That's a whole genre of music that nobody's brought that in yet. That would be great.
And difficult to defend without lyrics.
Yeah.
It's like my favorite part
I
is
didn't even think about that. If nobody has ever defended a song without lyrics, you're like, that's like open up a whole new world.
Yeah, you need to get some Skrillex people in there.
Yeah.
Crazy.
Skrillex, yeah.
That's a cool noise I like to listen to.
I will defend Bangarang till I die.
Even if you're like, that's not music, I'm like, it's fine. I like that noise.
But I think the one that would be best for the show, and I'm not positive on the artist right now. I think it's Cassandra or Cassandra or something. Cascada, yes.
Scotty.
Every time we touch, because every time we touch, we get this feeling, and every time we kiss, I swear I could fly.
I hate you singing it. So that sounds like it would be a great song.
Whatever that name that Noah said. Bisquick is Noah's band.
We've had some stinkers recently. There was, let me think. Somebody just this past show defended Ants Marching by Dave Matthews. The first 15 seconds of that are like
it's so
hard.
long before lyrics.
It's hard to get through. That thing is rough stuff.
I don't know this. I don't like Dave Matthews, so
It's
I'm
real.
on your side.
It's real bad. And then when the lyrics start, it's like because Dave Matthews was one of those things where I knew of it, but I didn't actually I never listened to Dave Matthews before, and I didn't know how it was. It's like way weirder than I thought.
Yes, it's really weird.
There's there's alto sax on it. There's like flute breaks and stuff.
Yeah.
It's really weird. It's weird that that's music that college kids like.
Yeah,
you could
probably
do-
not anymore.
Yeah, that college kids liked.
College kids when we were college-aged kids.
You could do a whole show of just forcing people to try to sing like Dave Matthews.
They're like,
Please inject some stuff.
that actually sounds a lot like it.
No, it's Dave Matthews.
Yeah, I'm secretly Dave Matthews. But I actually know two wrestlers who are wrestling ants, and that was their entrance
Oh,
music.
nice. That's terrible.
And everybody hated it because they wouldn't come out until lyrics started. So,
Were
every
they
time I
bad
was like,
guys?
Come on. They were bad guys not by choice. Just because Dave Matthews was on, it was like,
Turn
we got to
everybody
wait
against
15 seconds before they come out before wrestling will happen.
them. We had somebody defended a Limp Bizkit song.
Ooh,
and that's,
which one?
A song called Boiler.
Well,
I don't think I know.
Which
Boiler.
was super insane because I was familiar enough with Limp Bizkit just from being alive,
Yeah.
and the fact that it was the most popular thing in the world for
Yeah.
9 or 10 years. It was insane.
No, it was like 3.
3? I feel like they had a run from 2000 till
For me, it was a run from 7th grade to freshman year.
Well, they had the CD that had Faith on it by the cover of George Michael
Yeah.
and Nookie. And then they came out with the second one, and the CD was called...
Break Stuff.
No,
That's not the CD, but
I think that's on the other one, which was called the Chocolate Starfish
Yeah,
and the Hot Dog Flavored Water.
Oh, that was their third.
Oh, that was their third.
I had
Yeah,
to-
that
They
was
had
their
3 CDs at least.
One of the unintended consequences of my show is that I now know the history of all these terrible bands because one of my jobs as the host is to do some research and come up with a little funny bio about them up front. So I can tell you. I'm not going to, but if you wanted to know, I can tell you the whole history of Limp Bizkit.
I could tell you social relevance, though. One CD a year from 7th grade to freshman year. And those are the CDs, and then they were gone.
This has to totally screw with your iTunes suggestions.
The only thing I use my laptop for is checking email and making the slideshows for my show. So everything saved on my laptop is insane. So it's just if you go to the download folder, it's just dozens and dozens of pictures, the most embarrassing pictures of the lamest artist you can imagine. I think I have at least a dozen pictures of the guy from Counting Crows because somebody defended one of his songs once.
I love the Counting Crows, but you can never see them live. Because apparently he always remixes his own songs.
Oh, boy.
Because he doesn't want you to sing along with them.
Oh, boy.
So it's just you're just going to be a jerk.
Yeah,
and
people
just
are really looking
withhold
forward.
Yeah,
the
that's
thing
terrible.
I want.
Oh, that guy was not likable before I knew that. That was super unlikable.
and his weird fake hair. So it's the last Saturday of every month.
Yeah, it's the last Saturday
at
at
Good Comedy.
7 p.m. Last Saturday of every month. Good Comedy Theater, Chinatown, North 11th Street.
Yeah. If you haven't been to the Good Theater, go.
Yeah.
It is awesome.
It's rad. Yeah, it's that place is rad. It's like there wasn't ever a specific home for, I'll bias. So I'll say interesting, but you can say weird comedy.
Gotcha.
In Philly,
Yeah.
like there was the 2 or however many comedy clubs, but that was just bringing in like very straightforward down the line stand-ups. There was an improv theater, but I don't really know anything about improv, and I feel like they do shows like every night, and almost every show is some kind of
weird thing.
It's something weird. You know what I mean? There's like a couple of like straightforward, like go see stand-up, improv, whatever. But almost everything there is a weird idea, and I feel like it's rad that there's this home for
I'm trying to
weirdness
run
and
through all of them
creativity.
and get them on the show.
Yeah.
Who does the psychiatry one where you
Oh,
do
that's
your
a
set?
good idea. Joe Bell and
Bell?
somebody else run that. Yeah,
you
that's
do
a
stand
good
up for
idea.
5 minutes and then a psychiatrist breaks down all the things that is wrong
Yeah.
with you.
That show seems like one that could get real sad, real
Yeah.
fast.
Somebody was
was-
confronted with their alcoholism.
Yeah, it was the other,
Oh, it was
not
Brandon
Lamar.
Crick. It
Yeah,
was Brandon Crick. Yeah, we
yeah.
talked about him when we had him on for the Coward Hour.
yeah, and he admitted to trying to throw her off by like putting dumb stuff in there, and then she's like, "No, you have issues with your father and your drinking."
And you're also a stand-up comedian.
Yes.
You're one of my favorites. I haven't seen you in
Thank
forever.
You haven't seen me in forever because I've been super unmotivated for a long time.
That'll happen.
I'm gonna be honest. That's the thing that really stood out about you.
Was
Because
how amazingly unmotivated I am.
one of my favorite moments was back when Laughs on Fairmount was a thing. You were gone for like a week, and
Yeah.
you came back and you did a set about how you spent the
Oh,
week
yeah,
outside,
yeah.
like
That was great.
exercising.
Yeah,
and you were like
having relationships with
yeah,
people and stuff.
I
was
learned
great.
I don't have to be here.
Yeah,
we
yeah,
could
yeah,
all
yeah.
leave right now. And
That
it
was a
so
real
funny
wake up for me.
and so honest. And I was just dying. And then nobody left. We all stayed in
Yeah.
that dark room and performed the same jokes for each other.
Because it's the thing where at first you're like, oh, I'm going to go do this thing. And at first it's like new and scary, and so you go and do it. And then it's like, oh, and then like it's not scary anymore. And then you're like, you get like good enough that you're not humiliated to tell your friends about it. And it's all these
Right.
little steps. And then you get up all these little steps. And then all of a sudden, like, you've been at it for a little while. And Philly's a small scene and everybody's very friendly.
Yeah.
So it's like now everybody's friendly and you're kind of like everybody's just cooking along at that same level. And
Yep.
because there's no industry or really anything in Philly, it seems like everybody just cooks along at the same level, and there's nothing to work for really.
Yeah.
And it's like
yeah, there's a certain malaise of the
Yes,
Philly comedy
yeah.
scene.
But I mean, that's the downside. The nice side, I feel like, is that it motivates people to be self-generated. And like for me,
Soft
like
pretzels.
yeah, for me, like that's the thing where like I was definitely like, well, what am I doing? Like I don't know. It was just like it was hard to stay motivated to keep going to open mics over and over again, seemingly for what, But then I was like, oh, well, then maybe I should try to do something that's interesting to me, and that was one of the things I was so rad about Good is that I was like I had an idea that actually is. Every time the show happens, I leave the show like, oh, that was creatively satisfying. I feel like I immediately feel I feel like I get out what I put in creatively.
Gotcha.
So
Yeah, the steps in Philly are like, do your first show, get comfortable on stage, tell your family, move to New York. It's like, that's a big step.
yeah, it's interesting too because it's like I started doing stand up I was way older than everybody. I started when I was like, how old am I now? I started when I was like 33 or something. And so it's the thing where there's two things. So one, I don't walk around thinking that I could have been good enough to like make a living at it. But I realized early on that I wasn't even willing to take the steps to find out if that was going to happen,
Yeah.
Like I was like, oh, if people really want to make a go at this, I see like the kind of lifestyle they have to live and the sacrifices they have to make. And I was just like, I want to buy a house. Like I was just like, there wasn't like, I realized
like the idea of a yard.
yeah. I realized like super early on, I was like, oh, there's real sacrifices that people make in order to try to make a life out of this. I was like, and I am not going to make those
Yep,
sacrifices.
not gonna do it. Just hang out here. Well, my favorite is when we get new comics go on stage and they say something like, "I'm not sure if there's scouts here tonight." But it's like, oh, I'm gonna spoil it for you.
Oh,
No,
Yeah, I can guarantee you that there
are
not.
no scouts. The idea that there's just somebody out there is like, I got to go to an open mic and find a comic. I can't find a comic.
See, I didn't even think, I got to go to Philly and find a comic.
I'm going to make him a star.
Cultural center of Philadelphia.
I will say that there's like, I feel like there's like and there is an important life lesson built into that because like I feel like it's a naive idea to think that there's somebody waiting to give you something.
Right.
You know what I mean? Like with there's not. No one's waiting to give you anything. Where you're just like, I'm just gonna do this. Someone's gonna discover me. It's like anything you want to do, you have to build it. You just have to build it yourself. You know.
Well, from what I hear, there was like a span from like 83 to like 93. From it, that was true. Like people were looking for comics to do stuff.
Where that was there's people scouting.
I don't know if there was
Yeah,
scouting, but like you could become a stand-up comic and get kind of like a mid-level job.
Sure.
And then that's gone.
Yeah, we have the internet now.
Yeah.
It's all over. It's all over. Now, we also like to geek out on this show, and we do it with the segment called What You Watching, What You Reading, What You Playing. That's where we talk about what we're watching, what we're reading, what we're playing.
You mean
TJ,
to tell
you're-
me that you guys like to geek out?
Yes, we like to geek
I
out
would
on
not
this
have
show.
guessed that.
Yes.
I'm going to be honest.
You're not very observant.
I'm not very observant. I thought this was in a comic book store, and then I got here, and I was like, this is not a comic book store.
Well, there's
There
comic books.
There are comics.
That's not the main. Anyway,
Yeah,
That's a terrible business, and you don't make money doing it. So
The-
you gotta sell other stuff.
I saw these people here playing role-playing games, and the last time I played a role-playing game was in a church basement
Nice.
in Long Island, New York in 1988.
What was it?
Oh.
It was like a little kid version of Dungeons and Dragons. It
Yes.
wasn't like it was like
But
my
a religious version.
it was like okay.
I'm going to be the apostle.
Oh, that would have been way cooler. That actually probably even would have been like gnarlier than the, you know what I mean, like more upsetting if it was like biblical. Do people do that? They do like biblical D&D?
I'm
I bet
sure
we can find
it
it.
really
I'm
good
sure we
idea.
can
There's
find it.
a version of everything.
Well, it was just like my one. I had
Do your prayer check.
turned a pillar of salt.
my one friend who like liked heavy metal music and like was
and
you know,
played role-playing games?
and everybody
so weird.
and we were in like sixth grade and everybody were like, oh, he's a devil worshiper, and I was like, he must be cool, you know.
Yeah, how
and
cool.
so we would play. He had dice, but he didn't even have like books or anything. It was like real loose. It seems like he was just making it up.
Loose and
And
fast.
it was
dude.
That was
literally
my first couple of
and it was only the
role-playing.
two of us too. So he was the
Oh,
he was like
that makes it kind
it
of
was
sad.
just two of us.
It needs to be three people,
No, it
or
wasn't three
it's
people.
sad.
It was two of us, and then that was when I was in sixth grade, and it was because I went to Catholic school, and the playground was the parking lot of the church, and around we were altar boys, so we knew how to get into the back of the church, and if you went down into the basement, there was an area down there where
Yeah.
no bullies would bother you.
Ooh,
Yes.
nice.
And we would hide in the
Just
But then
priests.
to get even sadder, my family moved to Pennsylvania after that, and I had a little bag with dice in it, but I didn't have any friends when I first got here, so I would just carry it around.
Oh, yeah, your stories are sad.
And then I started skateboarding, and then my life took a much cooler turn.
Yeah. Ollied over there.
That part.
So I went to Catholic school too, and I played Warhammer Fantasy Battles in the library of the Catholic school. But I did not have to worry about bullies because I was by a far measure the largest child there. So they're like, we don't know what to do with this. We're like, we should mock this boy,
You were the
I'm
bully
a
hammer.
little afraid.
but he
of it.
might throw a thing at me.
That's awesome.
Yeah, there's nothing sadder than two people playing D&D. Hey, shout-outs to Party of One, by the way, hosted by Jeff Stormer, where two people play D&D every week.
I don't know.
It's a
Does
fantastic podcast.
that happen here?
No, it doesn't happen here, but he's a friend of the show.
Yeah, well, he was
So Will insulted the show.
twice.
Twice now. But
He
DJ,
didn't insult his show. It's just he's got a sad life, and that's what I was saying.
so DJ, what
Yes.
you watching? You watching anything?
I'm
good?
watching you guys ruin a friendship.
Oh yeah,
Apparently.
it's happening in live.
My best friend.
What am I watching? I'm not watching it. Honestly, I'm not watching anything.
Nothing.
No.
No films.
This
no.
is
Black and white.
oh, you know
art
what? I just
house
got
films?
okay. I'm like, this is a personality flaw in me. But when people are like, "Oh, this thing's great, you gotta watch it," I'm just like, "Shut!" I just get annoyed.
Oh, I'm the same
That'll
way.
bother
get
me the
annoyed.
Same
So
way.
there's things that I'm sure are good, but I'm like, I can't be bothered. But as far as watching, I just got a DVD of this movie that people have told me about forever, but I haven't seen it. It's called Blowout, and it stars John Travolta, and it takes place is from 1980, and it takes place in Philly, and he plays a sound engineer who like just wanders around the city recording noises in his spare time, and he accidentally records a murder, and then that
Yeah.
sets. That
You were
sets
losing
it
me,
in.
and now I'm interested again.
And it's supposed to be great. And I have not watched it yet, but I'm very excited about that.
So you'll have to come back and update us.
I'll fill you in on the
But
whole.
will you be
the whole
watching
thing.
soon?
Yes, I'll be watching it soon.
How about you, Will?
You want to talk about Jigsaw?
Yeah, let's just
we'll talk
knock it
about
out. We saw
Jigsaw.
Jigsaw recently.
What's Jigsaw?
Oh, boy.
The sequels to Saw.
You know the film franchise Saw.
I know the poster in the subway.
Okay,
Yep.
all right,
Well, that's what these
cool.
are
A
based off
scary
of.
mime.
Yes.
A scary mime? Is that it?
Yeah, and
little mime that's
he
like, I'm
rides
gonna
a
get
bike
you.
and Yep, that's his catchphrase.
got it. I'm gonna get
Classic
ya.
Saw catchphrase.
Which is weird because he's a mime. He really
Yeah,
should be
well,
talking
that's
it
why
off.
people are like, "You're not a good mime." That's why he's like, "I'm gonna get you."
He goes like this. He's like, he's gonna saw your head off. Yeah.
But it works. That's what makes it so scary.
That
This
That
is
actually is a
good.
really good horror movie.
That's a good
I really
idea.
like this.
Whoa.
Trapping people in invisible boxes.
Oh, and then you watch them
Jesus.
suffocate silently.
Sending wind.
That's a really good idea. Was that? I feel like that was,
Write
is
this
that
down.
a Twilight Zone episode or something?
No, this is
I hope not.
If
'cause
nobody
I'm
has done
gonna
that, that's
start
a
working
super
on it.
good idea.
I really like this idea. But Saw is my favorite film franchise.
Okay.
So if you ever want to do a movie version of Justify Your Love, I'll come on and
Saw,
defend
okay.
Saw. And they made a sequel after a hiatus of like 7 years,
Yeah.
after 7 films. And I loved it in the moment.
Yeah.
Retrospectively looking back, it's not as good as I had wished.
No, and I feel the same way when we left it, which was all right.
Yeah.
Could have been worse. Could have been a lot
Was
better.
it just like the ones that those Saw movies that you like? Is it just like, oh, the traps he made were better traps? Like, what's like,
The traps are
what
always,
makes a good, or what makes like,
well, what makes a
'cause aren't
good
they all
movie
just the same?
is a trap that is interesting with a person who does something that you think you could do better than.
oh, okay.
Like
No,
that's
fair. Yeah,
that's
yeah.
what really
Gotcha.
sells a
yeah,
Saw
okay.
movie.
No, that makes
yeah,
sense.
like the puzzle traps.
Because like I remember sitting next to you in the theater. We see it at midnight every year.
Okay.
There was one trap where a guy was holding 2 chains like this, and he had to let go of one, which would kill somebody. So he had to choose which person he had to kill. And Will looked at me and just went. I was like, oh my God, that would totally work. and the thing about it is, like, you're supposed to be able to figure stuff like that.
Sure. Yeah.
And that was totally missing in this film.
right. Oh,
Like,
that makes sense.
there wasn't a lot of, like, ooh,
Because if you have that thing figured out, then you have emotional buy-in. Because then you want that person to do the thing.
Yeah,
you figured out. That
exactly.
makes a lot of sense. Okay.
because like one of the most famous traps is there's this thing that this person wants, and she sticks her hands up through these things, and they're razor blades. So
Okay.
once they're up, she can't pull her hands
Okay.
back out. But if you look at it, the box that's locked, the key's just sitting in. So if you were smart, you
Yeah,
could just
I would've
unlock the
seen
box
the
and,
key.
and
Right,
get it.
right,
So
right.
like the stuff
Yeah,
like
which
that.
in my head canon, because that whole thing was about Matthew's son, and by that there was like the 5th or 6th trap of 7 people. So Jigsaw's like, if you're still alive, just leave. It's
Yeah, just
fine.
get it.
This is
You're
not
fine.
about you.
But in this new film, it's not. There's not a lot of like you did this when you should have did this. It's a lot of just don't do that. Ah, you did.
Yeah, they were very dumb, and
Yeah.
that got them.
Right.
And the marketing of it, there was a lot. I think I would have liked it more had this just been Saw 8. Because the marketing of it was 7's the last one, and we're not making any more unless a new script comes along that justifies doing another film. This script was not that film. If this just came next and
No,
was
I
just
gotcha.
like,
Like
hey,
they had all this
legends
build
never
up.
die,
Right.
and that was the story, I think I would have enjoyed it more.
Because spoilies, it's basically an origin story of new Jigsaw
Yeah.
that's not compelling in any way.
No, and I don't think it's going to make enough to spawn a sequel because
Yeah.
it was number 1 last week. Thor comes out like at midnight, so
they
no
couldn't
one's going to
possibly
see
have
it.
imagined.
Yeah. So that's what we've been watching. So I'm going to throw it back down to TJ. What you reading? You
Am I reading?
anything
I
good?
just read, finished it yesterday, the new Philip Pullman book, which I believe exists in the nerd universe. Or have I found the one goddamn bit of nerd thing that you guys
No,
don't know?
go on.
He wrote the Golden Compass trilogy.
Okay,
Now-
okay,
now
all
I'm
right.
on
Yeah.
it.
There's a big Rolodex of
is-
nerd stuff I
You
got
meant to
spin
say
through.
Nicole Kidman.
Yeah. He wrote that, was it his Dark Materials trilogy?
Yes.
Yeah.
In the 90s. And he's written other books since then, but a new book came out that exists like in that same world.
Ooh,
It's like
that's cool.
I think it was a prequel to that first book. It was good.
I read Golden Compass is the first
one.
Yeah,
Yeah.
because after I liked the movie, it wasn't great,
Yeah, it was cool.
but it had some
Cool.
really cool stuff, and
Yeah.
people were like, "Oh, that's all in there, but better in the
Yeah,
book."
yeah.
And I got so I was into it as much as I or anyone else was into Harry Potter.
Yeah.
And then when no one else could talk to me about this book, I didn't read the rest of it. I was like, I can't get
that-
this invested and just sit there by
that
myself.
was one of the selling points for me is that people
one will
weren't
ever talk
goddamn
to you
talking
about
about it. You know, I didn't have to. Like, I'll never read. Maybe Harry Potter's great. I don't know. I'm never gonna read it.
Oh, it is.
I'm
It's
just
wonderful.
anyway. But yeah, those books were awesome. And the new one I'd say was 75% pretty good and 25% like really, really great.
Okay.
So I would recommend it overall. A little bit disappointing, but generally pretty cool.
And it's a prequel to Golden Compass.
Yeah. It's like the little girl who's the main character in the Golden Compass and those stories. Like takes place like when she's like an infant, pretty much.
So if you're new to the series, should you read them in the order that they came out?
Yeah, I think I think you
you
should read them in the order they came out, just because the first 3 books are really great and this one's like fine. You know,
Okay, gotcha.
if you're spending your first Philip Pullman dollar, I would not start with this one.
Gotcha. Okay.
was
All right.
okay.
That makes sense. Will you read anything good?
I pass for now.
Oh. All right.
Wait,
I'm
so
gonna
that if
bank
you just
my
said
reading.
if you just said pass, does that mean that you are reading something you don't want to talk about?
Yes.
Usually, this also means he's got a rant coming up in the next
No,
round.
you know I don't. Well, I kind of do, but that was
Okay, all right,
unrelated.
I'm going to be honest. I forgot the bit I was going to do. I had a bit prepared on the book, and I forget what it is.
What was the book?
book?
Maybe it'll jog something loose.
Yeah.
Just saying the
This
name.
bit's not going to work if I don't remember this part. But I've been reading this Charles Dickens book that he died while writing, and it's a mystery. So like it's a true mystery because we'll
There's no
never
end
actually
to
know
it.
because there's no ending. And honestly, that's not true. I've been reading a book called The BS Artist, and it was how to pretend like you've read something. But it was really important that I remember the title of that Charles Dickens book for this to work. Thanks, research department. But yeah, I had this book. It was actually a gift from when we were doing the podcast, like back at Jester's, and I was like, I should probably actually pick this up and read it. And it's like 4 chapters on how to be a BS artist, how to just make it sound like you know everything about everything. And then it's like 14 chapters of like cliff notes of different things, like, you know, books, the economy, politics, but then also like movies and reality shows. It's like I couldn't imagine a situation where it's like, I got to know everything about American Idol by tomorrow. I have to look like I'm knowledgeable about this. So I've been skimming through it. It's got some fun stuff in it. But
Wait, you've been skimming through a book that essentially is just skimming through other books.
yeah, exactly.
I don't think you read this book.
Yeah, you know, I kind of skimmed through the cliff notes. I got the general idea.
Oh, I used to do that in school all the time. Where it's just like, I'm not reading
Oh,
this whole
I was the
book.
king of that.
I'm not reading this whole book. I'll just read the Spark Notes. 5 pages. No.
That's another good idea. You should start a website where you just summarize Spark Notes.
Yeah, Spark Notes too long. Too long.
No time.
Just give me the exact answers I need for the test tomorrow.
And
That's all I need.
Got to be while you're playing Minecraft, and then high schoolers
exactly.
will listen.
So I'm going to throw it back down to TJ. TJ, what you playing?
No, children like
What happened to the show for a moment?
we had a. This is a new
Did we
segment.
lag out? What happened?
This is a new segment I'm doing called Half Unmiked Conversation.
TJ, you playing anything good?
I haven't played any. The most recent video game I played is not new. I've been playing.
is it?
I dug through my box I go through video game phases where like a year will go by and I'll be like, and then I'll be like, I want to play video games.
Gotcha.
But I know how pretentious this is going to sound, but I don't have a TV.
Oh, I
and,
hate you.
and my laptop is.
What do you stare at when you're in your living room?
The void, the existential void. And my laptop is one of those little like Chromebooks, so you can't really do do much of anything on that either. So my video, the look of disgust you just gave me, Noah, was shocking.
I was like, why would you buy that then?
Because it was $140.
Spend more.
We've established the only thing I need to do on it is check email and make the slideshow for my game show.
It's also the only thing you can do on it.
Yeah,
so.
that's actually true. So it works out perfectly. But in my basement, I have what it's like not the 3DS, it's the flat one. It's just like that.
The 2DS?
The 2DS. Yeah,
Yeah.
I bought a 2DS because it was like not that expensive.
In your, you can move it, right?
What do you mean?
A DS?
Yeah, so pick it up. What do you mean?
Why is it live in your basement?
Oh, because then after like
Instead of
6
on your
Why
person.
doesn't it just, why you
because after like 6 months of playing video games, I'm like, I'm over it, and I throw it all back in the box, put it in the basement, and then I go dig it out.
You like have a locked
Yeah,
basement when
no,
like your
no.
wife's asleep and you just shut it and
I
video
bring- I
games,
bring it-
modern media.
I
Oh,
bring
thank
it-
God.
I bring it upstairs. But I've been playing those Advance Wars games,
Oh, yeah.
which are insanely good. They're so good.
Yeah.
There's like how
Imagine if you could play them on like a TV.
okay.
Imagine if they were this big.
I did play them on a TV. I was first introduced to those games. This isn't that tribute. This is a bummer. I have a friend who just died, but
You probably didn't need to include that part.
well, no, but this makes this doubly nice. And that is that when I first met him, it was in maybe like 2001.
Okay.
And I was living with a friend of his, and the friend I was living with had a Dreamcast, and he had this CD that just a blank CD-ROM or whatever that just said NES on it, and he was like, TJ, this has every single NES game on it, and I was like, shut up, that's impossible. What are you talking
You're
about?
a wizard.
He's like, no, check this out. He put it in and put it on, and I was like, where'd you get this? And he was like, yo, it's my buddy Keith, and my friend Keith who just died was like the first person that introduced me to to the world of being able to, like, you didn't need a stack of things, you could just have one little thing, It was amazing. But so I first played those Advance Wars games on some kind of emulator on a TV in that guy's apartment. So when I first played those games, it was on a big TV, and it actually was way more fun.
Yeah.
But I got a TV, then I got to buy something to put it on.
Yeah, it's a whole slippery slope.
Yeah, one thing leads to
I'm
another.
going to have to plug it in.
Yeah, I got to buy a new power strip. I just can't be bothered. But those Advance Wars games are really, really great, and I don't think a new one has come out in years, and it's upsetting to me because it's what I want out of video games.
Yeah, that's due for a new one.
Yeah.
And that's something that they could update like very
How hard could it
quickly.
be?
Yeah.
It's like the most basic look,
Yeah, it's not like you're creating a brand new world. It's like give us some new maps and some new things, and we're good
Yes.
to go. So yeah, I hear you.
Or open it up and let the faceless masses make maps.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah,
Let them
just-
do
just-
it.
That's
I
what
bet
most
there's
games
a
are doing
million
now.
mods on it. If you had a computer that was not garbage,
Yeah.
you could
This
just
is the thing. Even if I had a computer that wasn't garbage, I wouldn't know how to make the good things on it happen.
I don't either. That's why Steam just does it for you now. Because idiots like me don't know how to change a 1 to a 0 to make the game better. So there's just this thing called Steam Workshop, and you're like, "Oh, that looks cool." And you click a button, and Steam's like, "Don't worry, dum dum, we got this."
makes it
We
work.
fixed it for you.
And it's amazing. Games are so great when people can just make them better.
Yep. It's very
So just your life is sad, but that's fine.
Yeah, this is gonna take me a while to get over. What are you gonna do? You're
It's
home.
not
and
like
there's
I
no
don't-
video games. There's no TV. What do you do?
It's
He
not like I
just
don't.
judges the things people like.
I don't, and it's not like I don't waste time. I'm not.
You have a
like,
whole show called Judgy McLove.
It's true. It's called Judging McLove. I have no argument for that. That's an excellent point. I don't. It's not like I waste time. I just waste time in different ways.
All right. Acceptable. William, did you play anything good?
I did. I have a thing.
rant prepared?
I wanted. It's not a rant.
Okay.
It's just. It's a story I can share here, because I don't think any.
Is TJ gonna feel left out with
Yo,
his lack of technology?
100%. No, it has nothing to do with technology, and he's still gonna feel left out.
Okay.
So I have a Dungeons and Dragons group I started playing in that plays on Friday nights.
Okay.
Our GM is a very unreliable person. I don't think anybody at Sarah listens to this podcast, so we're cool. Really, it's just him. Anyway.
So your friends don't even listen to this podcast?
Not the ones in this D&D group.
Gotcha.
Jeff does, and I'm real sorry about that, buddy. But yeah, we start kind of later than we want to. It's always later than the time we set. We can't start without him because he runs the group.
Right.
And then sometimes, like, we're supposed to start at 9, and by, like, midnight, he'll text us and be like, I'm not coming tonight, sorry.
Oh,
And I was like, I
God.
really want to play D&D. So somebody else in the group started running a secret on-time D&D group. but we can't tell the GM we're doing it because we know him and he'll get mad at us.
Yeah.
And be like, well, fine, if you don't need, like, he'll get upset. We don't want to do that. But we also really want to play D&D. So I am currently running a secret underground D&D group
Right under the nose.
of my regular
Can
D&D
you just
group.
demote him? Why can't you just demote him?
Because he is the
Does
DM
he have
and he
something on
knows
you
all.
guys or something?
No, it's just
bigger than you guys?
No, he's a little man.
Oh, come on.
He'll just get mad at us.
Come on.
We're
It's the
nerds.
worst.
We don't like confrontation.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And he's a nice guy, and there's a very few people willing to. There's a million people that want to play D&D. Very few people that can run
Don't want to
it.
deal with
Yeah.
it, right?
And so we don't want to make one of them mad.
That's fair.
That's true. That makes sense.
So yeah, he has that over us.
Gotcha. Gotcha.
He's willing to do the boring part. of
Yep.
the game.
Yeah, he's going to
Yeah.
be babysitter for 3 hours.
So real quick, I was at the casino
Ooh.
for GameCon this weekend.
Which casino?
The Tropicana.
The Trop. Okay, cool.
Yeah. So we went to Wet Willie's and had some alcoholic slushies. And they have a game where it's horse racing, but it's like little toy horses that run around in a
alright.
circle.
Did we gotta spin the thing to make a move, or you just?
No, there's no like water gun where you shoot
Right.
or anything like that. It's just like you put $1 in and then you bet on a plastic horse. I put in $6 and I walked away with $11.
Nice.
Friend of the show Ben from Pixel Please was there. He put in $10. He walked away with $50.
That's a good
And then
gain.
our new friend from the con, Trevor, he was a staff person. He put in $1.
Oh.
He walked away with $148.
Did
and I
That's
hate
awesome.
it.
Did he bet on
That's awesome.
Lasty?
He bet on Lasty, and Lasty won.
That's awesome.
And then he was just like, drinks on me. I was like, let's go. I was done drinking, but you just
now
won
they're
way
free.
too much money for us not to do this. So, gambling is what I've been playing.
The idea of gambling so great.
Yeah, I get it. It like okay. I don't take part in that many self-destructive behaviors. Like relatively speaking, maybe I don't drink too much. Like I don't really have any
Well,
super.
what ones do you do? Let's
Yeah.
get those out on the
getting
table.
to.
Okay.
I'll eat unhealthy things. I'd say that's probably the main self-destructive behavior that I'll take part in.
You'll deprive yourself from basic technology.
Yeah, yeah.
That's not. I'm fine. with it.
Attachment to the outside world.
The only reason I even have a justification for it is because other people. If it was just me, I wouldn't. It's not like I'd walk around and be like,
Yeah.
oh,
all
look
those
at the
people
TV.
reaching out to you like, please, come on.
No, all those
Join
people
today.
like you who when I told you my technological situation, you gave me the dirtiest look. But
I just felt our relationship fall apart. I don't know what to say. I didn't know
Gambling-
he was Amish.
gambling always has. I don't actively do it really, but it always seems like if I'm feeling like I want to do something self-destructive, it's very inviting. But I usually am able to cap it just at buying scratch-off tickets, so
I do
I
love
can
doing scratch-off.
tell what kind of week I'm having by how many scratch-off tickets are like in the cup holder of my van. You know? And if there's a lot down there, it's been a bad week.
Been a bad
I
week.
know
yeah.
that for sure.
I totally get that. Totally get that.
Yeah, it's an allure I feel
Oh.
scratching at like
Yeah.
the back of your head. That like it's such a nice. Luckily, anytime I've ever had an opportunity to gamble, I just didn't have enough money to
To
lose. Like
make-
I didn't
yeah.
have a critical amount of money available to lose
To make it
I was
bad.
too young, and now Atlantic City's a
I think
garbage
about,
pile.
Yeah, I think about where I'm like, I should start
place.
gambling. Then I actually thought where I'm just like, I should start drinking.
Yeah.
I've just been
cheaper.
Seems like I don't know.
Less risky. So we end all of our podcasts with a game. And speaking of games, you took part in the Nintendo World Championship.
I did.
And you ended up with a score of, where did I put you? 94,120 points.
Yeah, whatever.
And that puts you in 8th place.
Yeah,
so
I'm-
you still made the scoreboard.
Yeah, top 10,
I don't
buddy.
even care. The way you set that thing up, you were like, dude, you're gonna play Mario. I'm like, oh, okay. You're gonna play Rad Racer or whatever. I was like, yeah, fine, I'll deal with that. And then you're gonna play Tetris, and I'm like, I'm gonna shine so hard when I get to Tetris. Like I was so confident that when I got to Tetris, you guys were gonna be like, whoa, I didn't, this dude's heavy duty. Like I thought you were gonna name a chair after me and stuff, and then I didn't even get there.
We could still do that.
I mean, you're still on the scoreboard. You still made it. You took someone's spot. You crushed their dreams. So
Who did I bump down?
you knocked off Katie, who's a professional wrestler.
Katie was
No.
professional wrestler.
Yes.
Well, I don't feel
She's a
good about
friend
that.
of ours, yeah.
I was hoping that was going to be a comic buddy of mine, and I could feel good about making
No,
them.
you sweet, nice person. You.
Brandon Chaucer just got kicked off as well.
Fuck
so
him.
You got
I
him.
don't even
off.
know him, but fuck him.
So we end all of our podcasts with a game. It's time for host versus guest versus audience. This week, I have the Spider-Man figurine. It's in his homemade suit.
Mm-hmm.
So
Is it? It's not random?
No, it's homemade. It's a homemade
No.
suit.
No, I don't want it.
All right. Well, that's what we're putting up. TJ, what did you bring?
I brought the super valuable.
Button that's just a pigeon.
Oh yeah, it's a
I like
pigeon.
that.
It's his artist. He's super rad. It's this guy Todd Francis.
That's something with the pigeon.
He draws a lot of things, but he paints pigeons, and his pigeon paintings are amazing and expensive. But this pin, $5.
Well, that's a
Not
steal
bad.
for that
So
pin.
cool. But I'm not giving this away.
Oh, well,
I'm
what-
giving away my business card because
Oh, that's good too.
in my real life, I'm a contractor.
hey.
I remodel kitchens and bathrooms, and I have this card with an adorable cartoon drawing of
I
me.
cut stone countertops.
Really? That's
Yeah.
awesome. So I'll put that there.
We'll talk after.
If you win.
Yeah, I'll never know who he is.
So to play host versus guest versus audience, we need an audience member, but they have to put up a prize for us to win since we put up a decent prize.
Okay.
And you brought your card.
Now, when you say they,
I'm talking about all the people in
Yeah.
here.
there is a lot. That's true.
Exactly. What did you guys bring this week? Those are Oreo candy canes.
It just, and I like candy canes, and I like Oreos. Gross.
Yeah, don't put
the
'em-
mix is gross.
Nah, I'm into it.
All
Oh, you're
right,
so
yeah,
wrong
those
about
come on
a
up
lot
here.
of
Those
things.
look delicious.
I would try a candy cane Oreo though. That doesn't disgust
Yeah,
me.
going the other way
Yeah.
seems a little bit better. I mean, Oreos have become every flavor
I'm
there
pretty
are.
sure they make those.
I'm
not
sure it
surprised.
exists.
I'm
Yeah.
surprised. So let me turn you up a bit. Introduce yourself.
I'm Laura.
Hey, Laura.
Or the
welcome back.
research department.
Let me see your gross things.
Yeah, I bought them because they looked ridiculous, and I wanted to
Oh, I
spite
like-
Will's lack of Christmas spirit.
I like the color.
Yeah,
I
they
like
look spooky.
black Christmas
Yeah,
things.
see?
Candy canes.
Black Christmas is a horror movie,
It is
True.
a hard.
There we go. There we go.
and they
I've
remade
only
it with Michelle
45
Trachtenberg.
calories for candy cane. How about that?
I've only seen 2 horror movies in my entire life.
What are they?
Oh, really?
I saw The Shining
Good choice.
like 2 years ago. It was super good.
With Jack Nicholson
Yeah,
or
the
with the guy
real one?
from Wings?
It's The Shining.
There's two of them.
Wait, there's 2 The Shinings?
Yes.
Oh, well, I saw the real
There's
one.
the good one,
Okay.
and then there's the Stephen King wanted one.
I did not see that.
Yeah, it's not good. So
And I saw that movie Lost Boys when I was a child. Does that count?
Okay, yeah.
Is
Lost
Oh
Boys
my
is a good
God,
choice.
that movie.
it's a great movie.
That movie was rad.
All right, so we are going to play Reddit Says. So are you familiar with the hit website Reddit?
That's like where the hate groups hang out?
Yep.
Yes. Yeah. Oh,
cool.
entirely.
Yeah,
It's pretty accurate, actually.
Nailed
yes.
it.
So I went on to Ask Reddit, where you could ask Reddit any question you want. And I have the top 10 most upvoted answers according to Reddit. So
Okay.
this is going to work kind of like Family Feud.
Okay.
You want to give me one of the top answers. So
Family Feud, but everybody polled is a men's rights activist.
Yes.
Okay, cool.
Accurate. So
Or stoned.
everyone will get a chance to answer every question. For this first question, we will start with Will. The Bro of Bros Bro asks, if one type of animal decided it needed to kill all humans, which would terrify you most?
I know the correct answer, but I don't know if it's the answer that the internet wanted.
Yeah, it's tough.
I guess capability would matter too.
Yeah, it's a tricky question.
I will go with dust mites.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay, interesting.
I watched a documentary about bugs once, and they were like, "Yeah, if dust mites ate live skin instead of dead skin, we'd all be eaten alive in a couple of seconds."
Okay,
So it
terrifying.
haunts me. Yeah.
Terrifying. TJ?
I'm going to go with dogs, and because they could if they wanted to.
Yeah.
And I love them so much that it would be like
You just let them.
doubly
Yeah.
upsetting.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? It would be like
they're already in your home.
yeah, like
There'd be emotional pain
Yeah,
as well as
yeah,
physical
yeah, yeah.
pain because
Like-
there'd be that betrayal.
yeah. In addition to being terrifying physically.
See, I have a little dog. I could live with him just biting at my ankle all day.
yeah, but what if there was
Aw.
30 little dogs?
I wouldn't leave my house.
Yeah, you'd be
It's
shredded.
terrifying. It's pretty terrifying.
So I'd say dogs.
Dogs. Laura?
Seagulls, because I'm afraid of
There's a
them.
lot of
They're
them.
scary.
They do want to kill you.
Yeah, I'm so afraid of them.
You just gotta hit them. You hit one seagull and the rest will back
I
off.
swear the girl who gives out like the samples on the boardwalk every day must come out and just snap one's neck
Yeah.
to make an
Yeah.
example.
That's what, I used to
'Cause they
work on the
don't bother.
boardwalk. That's what you have to do.
They don't bother the girls who give out like the free taffy.
Because she'll kill them.
Yeah.
That makes sense. Makes a lot of sense. Top 10 answers are number 10 is octopi, Because they're
They're
very
smart.
smart. They're very
Yeah.
smart.
But you
They're
stay.
very easy to avoid,
Yeah,
though.
just stay out of the water.
No,
It's the
they come up
stupidest
on
thing.
land.
When octopus come
Can
on
they
land,
get to Medford?
when
They
octopus
could
come on land,
probably squeeze their way up your toilet.
they turn into like jelly. They're not even like they barely have form.
But
They're
I
almost
believe they
liquid on
could
land.
fill like or put wheels on a submarine and fill it with water and then roll it up to my house.
That would be pretty cool.
Yeah, I'd die that way.
It's only number 10. Number 9 is rats.
Oh, yeah,
they're
that's
terrifying.
horrifying. Yeah, that's really scary.
8 is bees.
Yeah,
But bees couldn't eat you.
sting you.
They could
Yeah, but
sting
then
you.
like if we destroy all the bees, we would eventually die because there's nothing
yeah.
to pollinate things.
And I think that's already happening.
It's happening right
It's
now.
happening. It's happening. There's a whole episode of Black Mirror about it. Number 7 is humans.
Okay.
Meh.
That's
Those,
just, that
yeah,
doesn't
because
count.
those people were like, "Oh, humans an animal." Like everybody who voted that was like, "Oh, ho, ho."
Yes, that was the
proud.
comment.
Well, actually, humans were just animals. Shut up.
6 is hornets. 5,
Oh, they do want to kill everyone.
Yes. 5 is mosquitoes.
Yeah, but see, I thought that, but they don't.
Yeah. Nothing
What are they
would
gonna
change.
do? They already
Nothing would
eat
change.
your blood.
Yeah.
Ugh.
4 are sea sponges.
No, wrong.
How
'Cause
many?
you- how
what
would
was
you
the
stop them?
sample size of this?
What would they do?
Reddit.
Yeah, but was it like did 10 people answer? Like,
No.
more? How many people said sea sponge?
It was enough to be the number 4 answer. Number 3 is grasshoppers. Number 2 is dogs.
Yep.
So that's good for 9
Correct
points for
answer.
TJ. And number 1 is ants.
Seagulls. Holy shit! Was it
So
ants?
close. Yeah,
Is what?
ants is
Ants.
true.
Blech.
That would be scary.
Because it also included the fun statistic that if you put all of the world's humans on one side of a scale and all of the world's ants on the other side, it would be about even. Yeah.
A
there's
lot.
of
Well, there's a
ants.
lot of ants.
Yeah.
Lot
Really
of
a
ants.
lot.
All right, so TJ, we're going to start with you for this one. Asa Martin asks, what Simpsons quote do you use on a regular basis?
What Simpsons quote? I don't know if the one that I think about. It's annoying to do that, so I try not to do it.
Okay, understandable.
You know, but as far as one I think about a lot, God damn it. There's one where I think maybe it's Grandpa yells something about "Behold the ravages of age,"
Okay.
and I think about
Every time you look in the mirror.
a lot. Reason like
I
I've
do the
been
same thing.
I've been having a lot of like pre-middle-aged man issues recently. Like
Gotcha.
I got a cramp in my right butt cheek that pinched my sciatic nerve.
Oh,
So I
God.
had to go.
You don't even get those till 40.
I'm 39, dude. And so I've been thinking a lot about the ravages of age.
Okay, all right, that's a good one. That's a good answer. Laura?
I was saying Boo-Earns.
Okay, that's a good one. That's a
Right,
real
I
good
know
one.
they mentioned that one
That's
a lot.
gonna.
I just
Well-
forgot mine. I had a good one. The one I used to always say was money can be exchanged for goods and services.
Okay.
Can I change my answer to one that I think will be on the list?
Yeah, that's the way you should play it.
Yes, Lisa, some magical animal.
Yes, Lisa's
That's
a
a good one.
magical animal.
Yeah, where she's like
It's bacon, ham, and sausage, I think.
and
Oh,
sausage,
yes.
and she's like,
Yes.
Dad, that comes from the same animal. He's like, Yeah, right, Lisa, some magical animal.
That's all right. Okay.
That's what I think it would be.
Top
Also
10
a big
answers
fan of
are
a dental plan. Lisa needs braces.
number 10 is a little from column A, a little from column B,
That's a good
Oh
one.
yeah.
which I feel like
I
it's
think
just
about
a
that a
phrase.
Yeah, they don't
Yeah.
own that. But Homer did say it.
Number 9 is yoink.
Oh,
Oh, yeah.
Number 8 is hi everybody.
I think that died
These are just
recently.
phrases.
Well, hi everybody's Dr. Nick. Number 7 is I have 3 kids and no money. Why can't I have no kids and 3 monies? It's a great line. Number 6, weaseling out of things is an important skill. It's what separates us from the animals. Well, besides the weasels.
I used to say that in high school a lot.
It's a good one. It's a good one. Number 5 is stupid, sexy Flanders.
Aw.
Number 4 is I, for one, welcome our insect overlords.
I do hear that.
Number 3 is you'll have to speak up. I'm wearing a towel. And number 2 is everything is coming up Millhouse,
Oh, yeah. Come
which is the
on.
one
Oh,
I
that's like
use the
yeah.
most. And the number 1
Super
answer,
obvious.
money can be exchanged for good and services. That's good for 10 points
That's how
for
I
Will.
learned about the economy.
Money can buy peanuts. That's what I want.
Explain how.
All right, final question. We'll start with Laura. Royal Incubus asks, what fruit or vegetable absolutely pissed you off?
What fruit or vegetable absolutely pissed you off?
Yeah, absolutely pisses you off.
Pisses you off.
Yeah.
There is a
Oh
correct
my
answer to
God.
this
Zucchini.
Zucchini?
Yeah. I like have a personal vendetta against zucchini.
I like zucchini bread.
Gotcha. Will?
Grapefruit is the correct answer to
Grapefruit?
this.
Grapefruit?
Tastes gross.
One that pisses me off personally is broccoli rabe because it's on everything in the city of Philadelphia and it's bitter.
I do love
It's true.
broccoli rabe.
It's bitter and it's gross.
Good answers all around.
I didn't know what that was
It's just this gross.
until I was like
Oh.
23.
Number 10 is water chestnuts.
I think they're all right.
Chestnuts.
Number
Yeah,
9 is avocado.
Yeah.
Get out.
It's poisonous to me.
What?
It's
It's like one of the perfect foods.
No,
Right?
it's deadly.
What?
It's a superfood.
Yeah, it's amazing. It tastes good.
I
It's
think
good
that's
for
why
you.
this person was so upset is because they don't like avocado and have to constantly hear that.
Yeah, I have to get around it.
Yeah. Number 8 is tomatoes. We get it. They're fruits.
Yeah.
Number 7 is bell peppers.
No, wrong.
Yeah. Number 6 is celery.
Yeah, I hate celery. That's a good one.
Number 5 is grapefruit.
Yeah, it's gross.
That's good for 6 points for Will. Number 4 is my grandmother.
Yeah, screw her. She's a fruit.
Oh God, she's a vegetable.
It's one or the other.
Oh.
Did not go into detail.
That's not funny.
I meant like a crazy person.
Right.
Yeah.
I meant like a vegetable.
No, I know. I know what you meant.
Number 3 is the pomegranate for being so delicious and so difficult.
Yeah, it's a pain in the butt.
You got to earn it.
Number 2 is the pineapple because the pineapple eats you back.
Wrong.
It does.
Just don't bite the outside of it. How hard is it?
No, I think it's
Come
like
on.
it acidically
Yeah,
eats
it
away
does.
your
It goes
stomach.
at you.
Oh.
But it's worth
Oh,
it. It's
okay.
delicious.
And number 1 is, and I didn't put this, Red Delicious apples and their lying name.
They are the worst of the apples.
But that means with 16 points,
Killing it.
Will is our winner this
back.
week.
Woo.
You
Let me
just made
see
a
this
personal
business card.
contact.
Yeah.
Laura, thank you for coming on the show and bringing
Goodbye.
us those
Can I have these?
things.
Oh yeah.
I'll share them.
Yay.
Well, they're mine, and I say he can have them.
Oh, you win everything.
No, but I want you to have this.
Thank you.
He wins all the prizes. So, TJ, we got to get out of here. Anything you want to plug?
Plug. The next Just Fire Love is the last Saturday of this month, which I believe is the 25th. Can people help
I
me out
believe
on
we
this?
did correctly
25th.
identify that was correct.
Saturday the 25th at 25th. Thank you, at 7 p.m. at the Good Comedy Theater. It's always a good time. Come check it out. That's it.
Will, anything to add?
One pineapple plant can produce one pineapple at a time, and pineapple is the only edible fruit of its kind, the bromeliads. And there's been 2 quick facts about pineapple.
I already did a pineapple fact.
I'm
in
doing
the beginning.
remixes.
Do you have Twitter, by the way, TJ?
In theory, yeah, but I haven't opened that thing in like 3 years.
Yeah, you need a computer. Just need a computer. That's how it works.
I
You
can
can-
tell my
but
Xbox to turn
The most
on.
useful thing I can do is say,
yeah.
check out my business Instagram. That's what useful thing, and it's Hurley at Hurley and Self. So check me out on Instagram, and you can see pictures of the kitchens. And I came on this podcast really to plug my contractor business, not my
A lot
comedy
of
show.
podcast listeners are buying houses.
Yeah, I'm looking around this room. I'm seeing a lot of homeowners.
Yeah, that's
For
what we got
sure.
here. Be sure to give us 5 stars on
Nothing
iTunes.
wrong with being heavily invested in Pokemon cards.
5 stars on Stitcher. Vote for us on podcastland.com. Make us the podcast of the month. You can also subscribe to us on Twitch. And, of course, subscribe to us on YouTube where you can like, comment, and subscribe. Upcoming shows include next week we are canceled.
Oh, that's my.
You guys
will
do this
not be-
4 times a month usually?
We do this weekly. This is
Wow.
a weekly show.
That's a lot.
Yeah.
That's a serious commitment.
Also, and I forgot to mention this.
Once a month almost kills me.
This was supposed to be episode 200 of this show.
Wow.
And I was doing like a retrospective of going through all of our like past episodes. Turns out I missed a number. So this is going to be like awkwardly episode number 158. And then next week will be
Will
200.
be 200.
Oh, okay. Jesse
next
explained
week
this
is
to me, and it
canceled.
didn't make sense to me.
So yeah, episode 200, which will be a special episode, will be coming out soon. And then on the 16th, we'll be here with, I'm going to say his name wrong, Paul Facetta of Grifters AFK. He's got a new book coming out, so we're going to be talking about that. And then the week after that, it's Thanksgiving, so we won't be here for Thanksgiving. Yeah. So we usually do it 4 times a month, but this time we're only doing it twice.
It was exhausting.
And as always, or as newly, thank you to Brie Larson for making the show possible and giving birth to John Deary. This is the Plus 2 Comedy Podcast. Thank you guys so much.